In the world of The Cosby Show, familiar faces have left a lasting impression on audiences with their emotional and humorous performances, but as time passes, sadly, many of the stars from this legendary show are no longer with us. In today's video, we will take a look back at the lives and careers of 42 The Cosby Show actors who have passed away. These individuals have left behind unforgettable memories for the public and their fans. Join me as we explore these touching stories and pay tribute to these stars on their journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of these legendary stories that helped shape television history. Music, best known for his role as Russell Huxell in The Cosby Show in 1984, he was a talented man who lived a solitary life with a solid training background and a deep love for Shakespeare. He dedicated most of his career to the stage and earned widespread recognition for his impressive performances. Despite his success in the industry, he never married or had children, dedicating his entire life to his craft. To escape the pressures of Hollywood, he found solace in Norway, where he owned a home and lived in seclusion. Financial stability allowed him to live comfortably, with an estimated net worth of around $5 million at the time of his death. His assets included real estate in Norway and a valuable collection of books and manuscripts. Later, he moved to live in the home of actor Lillian Booth in Englewood, New Jersey, where he spent his final days in quiet solitude. He peacefully passed away on November 17, 2017, at the age of 91 from natural causes. The actress who played Anna Huxtable in 1985 was a talented performer. Her journey in Hollywood was marked by both success and struggle. She had a long and respected career in television and theater, but financial security always seemed just out of reach. While she brought warmth and intelligence to her roles, her personal life was filled with challenges. She was married, but her marriage was considered unusual and she spent most of her later years alone. Despite her long career, she never amassed significant wealth, though she owned a modest home and had some valuable personal belongings. Her health began to decline in her 80s, leading to frequent hospitalizations. Although she made significant contributions to the entertainment industry, she did not receive the widespread recognition she deserved. In her later years, she spent her final days in Englewood, New Jersey, where she passed away from congestive heart failure on May 30, 2011, at the age of 93. The actor who played Stanley in 1991 had a promising career that was tragically cut short while he was at the peak of his success. A former child actor who successfully transitioned to more mature roles, he was working hard to solidify his place in Hollywood. However, he faced significant personal struggles, including false accusations, which severely affected his mental and emotional well-being. His love life was turbulent and he often spoke about the challenges of finding genuine relationships in the entertainment industry. He had modest financial success, but his assets were not particularly large, consisting mainly of personal belongings, some savings, and investments in his career. On the night of November 9, 2002, his life was tragically cut short when he was ambushed and shot in Los Angeles. He was only 26 years old, and his murder shocked the entertainment world, serving as a grim reminder of the dangers that young stars sometimes face. The actor who appeared as Dr. Burns in 1986 was a beloved entertainer with a distinguished career, but his personal struggles cast a shadow over his success. His role in The Cosby Show was just a brief moment in a career that spanned comedy, music, and humanitarian work. While beloved by audiences, his personal life was far from harmonious. His marriage to Sylvia, though strong, was often described as turbulent, with long periods of separation and tension due to infidelity. The couple had a daughter, Dina, but Kay's relentless career was often prioritized over family life. Financially, he was better off than many, having accumulated a fortune valued at around $10 million, which included a luxurious home in Beverly Hills and a collection of classic cars. However, in his later years, his health deteriorated due to complications from hepatitis C, leading to severe heart issues. On March 3, 1987, at the age of 76, he passed away from heart failure. The actress who played Dr. Hughes in 1986 was a pioneering figure who tirelessly fought against the racial and gender barriers in Hollywood, but her life was filled with struggles. She constantly faced challenges in her career, as the roles for black actresses were often limited. Music. She never married and had no children, choosing an independent life over pursuing a traditional family. She lived in a modest home in Los Angeles where she focused on her career and personal interests, particularly her collection of art pieces that reflected her appreciation for culture and activism. Music. Financially, Rosalind never achieved great wealth with an estimated net worth of only about $500,000. She remained resilient throughout her life but was never fully recognized by Hollywood. She quietly battled cancer and passed away on October 31, 1995 at the age of 56 from the disease, leaving behind valuable career mementos and personal belongings cherished by her family. Music. The actor who played Mr. Hampton in The Cosby Show in 1984 was not only an actor but also a legendary jazz musician. His life was filled with victories but also personal struggles. Gillespie's career had a profound impact on the jazz music scene, but behind the scenes he faced financial difficulties and health challenges. He married Lorraine Willis, but their relationship was complicated due to his frequent touring. Although they had no children, he regretted not having a true family life. Despite his success, Gillespie did not accumulate the large fortune one might expect. His assets were valued at around $1.5 million, which included a home in Englewood, New Jersey, and a priceless collection of musical instruments. Music. His later years were marked by a painful battle with pancreatic cancer. Despite this, he continued to play music whenever he could. Gillespie passed away on January 6, 1993, at the age of 75. The talented actress, best known for her role as Mrs. Hudson in The Cosby Show in 1991, had a life that ended tragically. While she was praised throughout her career, financial success in television and theater remained elusive, and she was never able to fully enjoy the wealth that should have accompanied her long music career. Lynn never married, and despite having close friends, her private life was often lonely. She had no children, which made her feel isolated in her later years. One of her greatest struggles was the industry's failure to fully recognize her talent, as she was often relegated to supporting roles despite her exceptional music abilities. In addition, she faced persistent health issues that she mostly kept private. She suddenly passed away from a hemorrhagic stroke on March 12, 2003 at the age of 54. Her modest estate mainly consisted of personal belongings and professional music mementos. The actor who played Dr. Barris Foster in The Cosby Show in 1986 was a man of great intelligence and sophistication. However, his personal life remains a mystery. With a deep, commanding voice, he became a sought-after actor, but off-screen he was incredibly private and discreet. He never married or had children, and his romantic life was the subject of much speculation. Although he never publicly confirmed any relationships, he had financial security, owning a comfortable home in Los Angeles, along with a collection of rare books, poetry and art. Music. His career spanned decades and he was respected for his eloquence and talent. However, in his later years he faced stomach cancer and chose not to disclose his illness to many. Despite his declining health, he continued to work, living in seclusion as his condition worsened. On April 11, 2007 at the age of 84, he passed away after a battle with cancer. The actress who played Mrs. McGee in The Cosby Show in 1989 was a renowned Broadway star, famous for her sharp wit and larger-than-life presence. While The Cosby Show was just a small part of her extensive career, her role in the show added to her television legacy. Music. Stretch was known for her blunt attitude and brutally honest approach to life, including her long battle with alcohol addiction that spanned several decades. She married actor John Bay in 1973, but their marriage was childless, and his death deeply saddened her. Despite her immense success, she often spoke about her loneliness and regrets, particularly about not having children. Music. Financially, she was well off, with an estate valued at around $20 million, including her luxurious home in Birmingham, Michigan, a collection of luxury cars, and Broadway memorabilia. In her later years, she lived in semi-retirement and expressed her frustration with aging and declining health. She passed away on July 17, 2014. At the age of 89, the actress who played Carrie Hanks in The Cosby Show in 1984, Ethel Ayer, was a respected artist who dedicated her life to the stage and screen. Despite a career that spanned many roles, she never achieved widespread fame. Hollywood, with its limited opportunities for older black actresses, often confined her to supporting roles. Music. Although stable in her work, she never received the financial rewards that matched her talent. Never married and without children, she devoted herself entirely to the arts. She owned a modest home and had some personal savings, living simply without ever truly achieving financial security. Music. In her later years, she chose a quiet life, staying away from the glamour of Hollywood. Despite her significant contributions to the entertainment industry, she did not receive much public recognition. She passed away on November 18, 2018, at the age of 88. The cause of death was not publicly disclosed, but her passing marked the end of a silent, principled career dedicated entirely to the arts, music. Best known for his role as Dr. Davis in 1987, he was a comedic actor, but the struggles in his real life were far from funny. While he made audiences laugh, he faced many personal and financial challenges behind the scenes. Music. He never publicly spoke about a wife or children, and no romantic relationships were disclosed in his life, leading many to believe that he faced his struggles alone. Despite having a long career in television and film, he never achieved the financial security that some of his colleagues, music, did. His assets included personal belongings, stage memorabilia, and some financial assets, but he left behind no substantial fortune. Health issues plagued him in his later years, leading to multiple hospitalizations. His final days were difficult as he battled pneumonia and heart failure. On February 19, 2013, at the age of 77, Mayers passed away in Charleston, West Virginia. Music. The actor who played Al Hanks in 1985 was a jazz legend with a powerful voice that brought him fame, but his personal life was often lonely. While he was widely acclaimed for his music, his role in The Cosby Show was one of many television appearances that showcased his versatility. Music. He was briefly married, but the relationship ended in quiet estrangement, and he had no children. Despite his successful career, Williams never accumulated significant wealth. While he owned a modest home and a collection of classic cars, including a cherished classic Cadillac, he lived comfortably but not extravagantly, relying on royalties from his music. In his later years, he faced health challenges and financial disputes as some relatives and associates sought control over his remaining assets. While he continued performing, his health declined, leading to increasing isolation. On March 29, 1999, at the age of 80, Williams collapsed on the streets of Las Vegas and passed away from natural causes. Music. The actor who played Homer in 1986 was an extraordinary playwright, filmmaker, and actor, but his career was overshadowed by struggles with illness, discrimination in the industry, and financial instability. Despite his immense talent, he never received the widespread recognition he truly deserved. He never married or had children, dedicating himself entirely to his craft. His personal life was marked by struggles, including battles with health issues and the challenges of being a black artist in Hollywood. Throughout his career, financially, he struggled throughout his life, leaving behind a modest estate consisting of his scripts, personal works, and some assets of sentimental value. His final years were tragic as he suffered from worsening arthritis due to complications related to AIDS. As his health declined, he withdrew from public life, spending his last days in relative seclusion. On April 5, 1989, at the age of 59, he passed away in Nyack, New York. The actor who played Dr. Lotus in 1989 was a deeply respected performer with a commanding presence. However, his personal life was marred by sorrow. Known for his Shakespearean-style performances, Gunn's career never reached the financial heights that his talent deserved. He lived modestly in his later years, residing in a quiet neighborhood rather than a luxurious estate. His vehicle was a simple, reliable car instead of a high-end automobile. Although he married his longtime love, Gwen Wells, their relationship was fraught with difficulties, particularly as his health declined. They had a son, Justin, but family tensions arose due to issues with firearms, his worsening health, and financial insecurity. Music. One of the greatest tragedies of his life was his battle with chronic asthma, which often left him debilitated and impacted his ability to work. In addition, he faced racial discrimination throughout his career, which limited his opportunities in Hollywood. Despite his immense talent, he passed away on December 16, 2002 at the age of 64 due to prolonged health issues. The actor who played Dave in 1991 had a steady career, but never achieved the immense financial security he deserved. His home was comfortable but unremarkable, and he led a relatively modest life, staying away from the lavish pleasures of Hollywood. Dempsey married, but went through a turbulent relationship, which ultimately led to estrangement. In his later years, he had children, but they were not deeply involved in his life, especially toward the music. And a significant tragedy in his life was his struggle with anonymity. Despite working in the industry for decades, he never became a household name, which made him financially insecure. As he grew older, another source of sorrow was his declining health, which forced him into an early retirement when he passed away on August 27, 1998, at the age of 69, from natural causes. His estate was modest, and very little is known about his current financial situation. His story makes many feel regretful for a talent that lived quietly, but others believe that this was his true joy, being able to be himself. If you have any other thoughts about this character or would like to share your opinion, let us know in the comments. If you liked this video or have a topic you'd like to learn more about, feel free to tell us. We'd love to hear from music. The actress who played a saleswoman in The Cosby Show in 1984 had a long career but was often overlooked in the film and television industry. Despite her versatility, she was frequently cast in supporting roles and never truly gained widespread fame in mainstream entertainment. Her marriage to Philip Rose was one of the few constants in her life, although their relationship was tested by long periods of separation. Due to work, they never had children, leaving her with a deep sense of loneliness. In her later years, she was financially stable but not wealthy, with her main asset being a new apartment in New York City filled with personal mementos from her acting, music career. She struggled with health issues in her later years, particularly cervical cancer, which ultimately affected her in the final stages of her life. She withdrew from public life and rarely made appearances. Some of her assets, valued at around $1 million, were donated to charitable causes. She passed away on October 4, 2011 at the age of 85. Christoph St. John, who played David James in The Cosby Show in 1984, lived a life full of ups and downs while he found fame and achieved financial success, accumulating a significant fortune including a home and personal assets. His wealth could not protect him from deep personal music tragedies. He was married twice, first to Maya St. John and later to Alan Adel, but both marriages ended in divorce, largely due to personal struggles and mental health challenges. He had 2 children, Julian and Paris, but his life was forever marked by the suicide of Julian in 2014, a loss from which he never truly recovered. The grief from this tragedy led him into a downward spiral marked by periods of depression and alcohol abuse. Another tragedy in his life was his ongoing battle with mental health, as he was frequently in and out of treatment music centers. His later years were filled with hardship when he passed away on February 3, 2019, at the age of 52 from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy caused by alcohol. He left behind a complex estate with financial disputes that arose in the years following his music death. The actor who played Dr. Wexler in The Cosby Show in 1985 was a Hollywood star who worked behind the scenes as a producer and actor. Despite achieving great success in the entertainment industry, his personal life was unstable. He was married, but the demands of his work often kept him away from home, creating tension in the relationship. He was known for his wit and sharp business acumen, amassing a fortune through television projects and real estate valued at around $4 million. His home in Beverly Hills was filled with mementos from his career, including rare scripts and production notes from the shows he helped create. As he grew older, he withdrew from the public eye, spending more time reflecting on his accomplishments rather than seeking new success. His final years were relatively peaceful, although he remained respected in the industry. He passed away on January 11, 1997, at the age of 89, from natural causes. The actor who played Coach Uncott in The Cosby Show in 1985 was a distinguished actor and educator, but his life was filled with struggles. Despite his undeniable talent, he often found himself confined by the limited opportunities available to him in Hollywood. He was a private man, rarely speaking about his personal life, although it was known that his relationships were challenging and often short-lived. He never had children, dedicating most of his energy to his craft and later teaching aspiring actors. Financially, he was not as wealthy as some of his colleagues, with an estate valued at around $1 million, primarily consisting of his home in Washington, D.C., and a collection of stage memorabilia. He spent his later years mentoring students, trying to pass on the knowledge he had gained throughout his career. However, declining health eventually forced him to retire from teaching. He passed away on August 9, 2012, at the age of 81 from a non-com community-related illness. The actress who played herself in The Cosby Show in 1985 was a pioneer in the entertainment industry and a strong advocate for civil rights. While her public image was one of grace and confidence, her personal life was much more complex. She was married twice, and both marriages faced significant challenges due to the racial and societal pressures of the time. The loss of her son Teddy Jones in 1970 was a devastating blow that she was never able to fully recover from, despite achieving financial success with an estate valued at around $20 million. Her wealth did little to ease the emotional pain she carried with her. Her assets included a beautiful home in New York City and an extensive collection of jewelry and artwork, much of which was later donated to civil rights organizations. In her later years, she became increasingly reclusive, rarely appearing in public. She passed away on May 9, 2010, at the age of 92. Due to heart failure. The actor who played Mr. Barker in 1985 was a stage and screen performer renowned for a critically acclaimed career, but his personal life was less celebrated. While he was known for his commanding presence on the Broadway stage, his television appearances, including The Cosby Show, provided him with financial stability rather than widespread fame. Grizzard never married and had no children. Dedicating himself entirely to his craft, he lived in a fully equipped apartment in New York City filled with rare books and stage memorabilia. Although financially comfortable, he often spoke about the loneliness that came with a life devoted to the pursuit of perfection. His estate, valued at around $1.5 million, was quietly distributed to close friends and family. After his passing in his later years, he battled lung cancer, a disease he fought silently until his health rapidly declined. On October 2, 2007, at the age of 79, he passed away due to complications from the illness. The actor who played Dr. Dan Morgan in 1986 was best known for voicing Sebastian in The Little Mermaid. However, his life was filled with struggles beyond the cheerful persona he portrayed on screen. His role in The Cosby Show was a supporting one, but his contributions to the entertainment industry were significant. He was a devoted family man, married with children. However, financial instability and career challenges often placed a strain on his personal life. His estate was valued at around $1 million, including a home in New York and a collection of valuable musical instruments, but he never achieved the same wealth as many of his contemporaries. Despite making significant contributions to the industry, he struggled to secure leading roles and find stable work in the years that followed. His final battle was against prostate cancer, a disease that gradually drained his strength. He passed away on May 24, 2021. At the age of 74, the actor who played Thora Hill in 1985 was a talented performer known for his outstanding performances, but his personal life was filled with sorrow and loneliness. Although The Cosby Show was just a supporting role in his career, the show contributed to building a diverse portfolio of television work for him. Williams was once married to actress Gloria Foster, but their marriage ended in divorce and he never remarried. The couple had no children, and after Foster's death, Williams became increasingly reclusive. Despite a successful career, he never pursued extravagant wealth. Instead, he lived in a modest home in Los Angeles with a collection of sentimental personal items. Rather than luxury assets, his estate was estimated at around $2 million, which was quite modest by Hollywood standards, and his assets were eventually managed by distant family members. His later years were overshadowed by illness as he quietly fought colon cancer, not revealing it to many within his circle. On June 4, 2021, at the age of 81, he succumbed to the disease. The drummer from 1986 was a pioneer in jazz music, but his personal life was filled with struggles. Despite his musical genius, he lived in a modest home in New York and owned an extensive collection of jazz memorabilia, including rare records and instruments. However, he never accumulated much wealth due to poor financial management and the unstable nature of the jazz industry. He married multiple times, but his relationships often ended due to his constant touring and struggles with addiction. Despite having several children, his absence from family life created emotional distance, straining his relationships. One of the greatest challenges he faced was his prolonged battle with heroin addiction, which not only affected his health but also hindered his career, causing him to lose many opportunities. Another sorrow in his life was the decline in the popularity of jazz within the mainstream artistic community, which forced him to accept lower-paying performance contracts in his later years. When he passed away on October 16, 1990, at the age of 71, from lung cancer, his estate was estimated to be between $500,000 and $1 million. Some of his valuable memorabilia was donated to jazz music education programs to continue preserving his musical legacy. The actor who played Norman Kirby in The Cosby Show in 1987 was a beloved comedian, but his life was filled with personal struggles. While he made audiences laugh, he faced disappointments in his career and personal difficulties. He owned a modest home in Los Angeles and maintained a collection of comedy scripts and memorabilia, but he never amassed the immense wealth that some of his fellow comedians achieved. His long marriage, while stable, faced difficulties due to his dedication to comedy, which led him to prioritize work over his personal life. Despite having children, his focus on his career created an emotional distance between him and his family. One of his greatest regrets was being unable to transition to theater and land roles that Hollywood never valued him for. Beyond comedy, another major issue in his life was the gradual fading of his comedic style, which made it difficult for him to make a living in his later years. When he passed away on October 9, 2005, at the age of 92, from lung cancer, his estate, valued at around $1 million, was divided among his family, with a portion donated to support comedy education. The actor who played Scott Kelly in The Cosby Show in 1987 was a talented performer, but despite his successful career, he never felt fully satisfied. With his ambitions, he owned a beautiful home in Los Angeles and collected scripts and mementos from his decades of work in the industry. However, his financial success was overshadowed by personal struggles. Culp married 5 times, and his relationships often ended in divorce, leaving him feeling lonely in his later years. Although he had children, his workaholism caused emotional distance in his family relationships, making his home life complicated. One of his greatest disappointments in life was taking on roles that never led to the fame he had hoped for. Another challenge he faced was his declining health, which forced him to slow down his work, a situation that caused him considerable frustration. When he passed away on March 24, 2010 at the age of 79 from a heart attack, his estate was estimated to be around $5 million. His family oversaw his estate along with some contributions to film preservation organizations, but his career and personal life, full of challenges, left a lasting impact on his fans. The actor who played Herb Temple in The Cosby Show in 1987 was a veteran of Hollywood, but his career was overshadowed by personal struggles behind the scenes. Despite working in both television and film, he never accumulated much wealth. His estate primarily consisted of a modest home, few investments, and personal memorabilia from his days as an actor. Foster was a quiet and reserved man. He was married, but his relationship with his wife became strained, largely due to his unstable career and health issues. Despite having children, his relationship with them grew distant as he became more reclusive. One of the greatest pains in his life was feeling typecast, struggling to land roles that suited his talent, which led to bouts of depression. Foster's health declined in his later years, making daily activities a challenge. His finances dwindled, and he had to rely on Social Security along with limited savings when he passed away on February 26, 2015, at the age of 85 from a non-communicable disease. He left behind a small estate. The struggles in his personal life and career reflected the challenges many Hollywood stars face behind the spotlight. The actor who played Ray Palomino in The Cosby Show in 1989 was a legendary entertainer with an impressive career. Despite his remarkable achievements, he faced many personal and financial troubles. His estate, which included a luxurious mansion in Beverly Hills and an expensive jewelry collection, gradually dwindled due to poor financial management, lavish spending, and debts. He married 3 times, including to actress Mae Britt. However, his relationships were heavily impacted by infidelity, racial tensions, and career pressures. He had children, but family life was impacted by the demands of his work and personal challenges. One of the biggest struggles in his life was facing racism. Even at the height of his career, he was denied many opportunities and the respect he deserved. Additionally, severe financial troubles related to poor investments and IRS debt depleted much of his wealth. When he passed away on May 16, 1990 at the age of 64 from throat cancer, his estate, valued at $5 million, had almost been completely depleted by debts. A life full of success, yet not without its challenges and sorrow. Who is your favorite member of The Cosby Show cast? Let us know in the comments. Although we've lost many beloved stars, their outstanding performances will forever live on in our hearts. Their impact on television and the memories they left behind will never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more about classic TV stars. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.